Welcome along to the legendary, world-famous Circuit van Drenthe here at Assen in the north of the Netherlands, and welcome along to the second of 6 rounds in this year's 2024 R3 World Cup. There's the old original Assen circuit there. They've been racing in this part of the world since 1925, and on that particular track you saw there, now lost away in the woods. It was used from as early as 1926. Rain has been the story of the weekend all through the event so far for what is the third round of this year's World Superbike Championship, and we've just seen a very, very dramatic qualifying session for them. But now our attention turns to the stars of the future, with a mammoth crowd watching on here despite the mixed weather conditions and despite the fact it's not even yet midday. Well, rain once again affected proceedings for qualifying yesterday for the Yamaha R3 bLU cRU World Cup riders. Not least the fact that Gonzalo Sanchez, the championship leader who dominated proceedings at Barcelona last time out, had a crash and is only 8th on the grid. But here's the rider on pole position. It is Mario Salas from Brazil, and he really mastered the conditions yesterday to grab his first ever pole, number 42, the 16-year-old with the Yamaha AD78 Team Latin America squad. Cameron Swain of Brisbane, Australia, with Troy Corser, the double World Superbike champion there, just off behind him, who's advising him, and a good family friend. Carol, Cameron's mum, is here this weekend as well, with his dad Jason watching on back home down under. Cameron Swain, no points, involved in 2 incidents that were not his fault in each of the races back at Barcelona, so he really needs to get some points on the board here at Assen. The air temperature at the moment is 8 degrees Celsius, track temperature 15 degrees Celsius. Here's your grid. Salas, Swain and Eduardo Burr, another Brazilian, on the front row, with Yamane and Takahashi up there with Mark Vick on row 2. David Novak had a crash in qualifying, so did the championship leader Gonzalo Sanchez, who's only in the middle of row 3, with Mert Konik of Turkey completing the grid down there in 16th place. So we've had a fleeting rain shower once again in the last few minutes. Now it's stopped, there is no rain falling. I'm looking out of our commentary box window here at a blue sky and white clouds. Look at Salas' eyes looking through the crash helmet visor. He's waiting for the lights, they change, and the warm-up lap begins ahead of a 10-lap race here on this legendary venue in the north of the Netherlands. We're 200 kilometers northeast of the capital, Amsterdam. It's a 4.5 kilometer, 2.8 mile clockwise layout, but this Haarbosch turn 1 really does have an unfortunate incident history, because we've seen many first corner incidents down there over the years. So, reminder of the grid, it's Salas on the pole position from Swain and Burr. Then it is Yamane in 4th position ahead of Takahashi and Vick on that front row. And let's see what the championship leader can do from the middle of row 3. Sanchez, who had the most dominant win ever in the so far 3-year and 2-race history of this championship at Barcelona, when he won by over 11 seconds. There's David Novak, number 46, with the Valentino Rossi decals on his crash helmet. A major Rossi fan is the rider from Poland. You can see David, actually one of the few riders by the looks of things to have gone out with the rain suit. But the track dries very, very quickly here because of the strong crosswinds and the fact that it's very, very open, not too many trees in close proximity to the track itself or large buildings and grandstands. So it's good in the fact that it dries quickly, but as you can see, the painted curbs and white lines are absolutely lethal. They were painting those white lines as late as Thursday. They're very, very fresh paint. It all looks nice and clean and good here at Assen, but they're lethal if you touch them in the wet weather. Here's the championship situation then, with Spain Sanchez, here he is on screen, leading David Novak of Poland by 17 points. Burr, who's on the front row today, 3rd. Then it's Jorlan of France, and Salas, today's pole sitter, there you can see 28 points behind. So even if he wins the race and Sanchez fails to score, which would mean finishing outside the top 15 or not at all, you'd still have Salas not leading the championship. Just to put into perspective the difficult start to the season he had back at Barcelona. There's an update on the weather. They would not make pit stops if the race conditions were to change dramatically, race direction would throw a red flag if they really needed to. And another interesting thing to note is that the riders do not make the decision on tyre, so everybody on the same tyres, and that's all decided by the organisers of this Yamaha R3 bLU cRU World Cup. Just takes a little bit of pressure off the riders, as you can see for yourself. They're all pulling up towards the grids now. They'll take their positions. The red lights will be switched on for a minimum of 2 seconds, but no more than 5 seconds. And what can Sanchez do from the middle of the third row of the grid? Everybody's on the wet tyres, and with the track drying, I think you're going to see people going off that dry line to try and cool the tyres down on the wet patches. Green flag at the back, the red lights will be switched on, and when they go out, the third race of the season for the R3 bLU cRU World Cup will be go, and it is now, with Sanchez leading away from pole position here on a drying track at Assen. Sanchez towards us from Brazil. Number 42, is he in the lead? Cameron Swain has a look at the inside, but it is still Sanchez leading, beautifully converting pole position into the race lead as they ran the Harbosch for the first time. Somebody's extremely wide in the background. That was Takahashi, losing all sorts of positions and down towards the back of the field. 16 of them this weekend. We don't have the 4 Spanish wildcards that we had in Barcelona a month ago. Into the Struben then on this, the opening lap. Everybody trying to be as careful as they can, and Sanchez actually running out wide. That was brave. Onto the slippery painted curbs on the outside of the Struben. Cam Swain will be pleased with his second place. Burr is still third, and Sanchez, number 23, is already up into the top 5 as Cam Swain has a look into the rapid right-hander of the Ruston Hook, and he does indeed take the lead. You certainly can't win the race on the opening lap, but how many times have we said before that you can lose it? But this is a very, very sensible opening lap from everybody so far, with Brisbane's Cameron Swain leading the way into the De Bolt corner for the first time. He's yet to win in the bLU cRU R3 World Cup. 2 winners of races in the field today. Mark Vick, who won twice last year, and Sanchez, who was the double winner in Barcelona at the start of this season, having been given a free entry to this year's championship by virtue of the fact he won the SuperFinale, which is when the riders from all of the different R3 Cups around Europe and the world come together at the end of each season. Number 96, Mark Vick, the 17-year-old from Palma in Mallorca, and going through is Sanchez, the championship leader, who was ruining that crash yesterday in Superpole when he hit the deck at turn 1. But Sanchez fighting his way, storming his way towards the front of the field here. But nobody's had any proper, decent practice time in any solid conditions. It's been changing every 5 minutes here at Assen since we all turned up here on Wednesday night or Thursday. Down into the right-hander of Harbosch, and we still have another 9 laps to go. And watch out for people looking for that wet line to try and cool these wet weather tyres. And you can already see a dry line is emerging as they come through the right-hander at turn 2. That's Moudijk, and now into the Ossenbroken. This is turn 4, and then the Struben. Turn 5. They do not want to overheat these tyres, otherwise you're going to see a lot of problems for people over the course of what is one of the longest races of the season here on this 4.5K layout at Assen. Eduardo Burr is now up into second place. Cam Swain down to third, with Sanchez edging his way back into the lead of the race. Number 56, Yamani from Japan, having a big look as they get to the end of the back straight. Sanchez having now fallen back a little bit, down into 7th place, having looked to be up into the top 5 early on. Good start further back as well for Alessandro De Persio, the 16-year-old Italian who's grabbed 3 positions. Similarly, Indy Schulachar has fallen back 3 positions, so Schulachar is down in front of the home crowd to 12th place. There's Sanchez trying to cut his way through, and likewise Sanchez, number 23, the championship leader, into De Bolt corner. Big move by the 54 of Warapok Tongdaman, who cuts through. Tongdaman from Thailand. 13 different nationalities represented in the field this season. And look, they're definitely trying to cool the tyres. There's the 88 of Eduardo Burr cutting through. Oh, and being sat up is the 16 of Takahashi. He ran wide at the first corner on the opening lap and he's now fighting his way back through the field. Very handy lead though for Sales, the Brazilian who was on pole position, the 16-year-old, trying to edge away at the front of the field. But this could well be a race in which we see plenty of changes in the closing stages, and we definitely saw that at Barcelona. Not in the fight for the lead, of course, because Sanchez was 11 seconds up the road. And talking of Sanchez, he's making some adjustments to his front brake lever with his left hand as he comes through turn one, and he was last seen there edging his way up the inside. Did he get through? Yes, he did. So Sanchez on lap 3 of 10 with 8 to go. After a very cautious start to the race, he was 8th. Up briefly to 5th, fell back down to 7th, and now he's back up into the top 5 again as they get some heat and confidence going. Mark Vick there, number 96, 7th in the championship, failed to finish the second race at Barcelona. It was on the podium, 3rd place in the first. This is your order. The number 42 of Mario Sales, 88 is Eduardo Burr in what was at this point on this replay a Brazilian 1-2, but Takahashi now has set the fastest lap of the race. The 16-year-old from Japan with the bLU cRU Yamaha Racing Japan outfit, cutting his way through the field. Look at the focus in the eyes of the Polish rider there, David Nowak. You see the flag as well, where the right headlamp sticker would normally be. And that is a rule in the championship regulations. There goes Burr, back up into second place. Takahashi has a look into the right-hander of the Mandavine. And Sanchez keeping a watching brief as the championship leader, and he's playing the long game. Remember, this is a 6-round, 12-race series, 2 races per race event. Misano, Donington, Magny-Cours and Aragon still to go, with the curtain coming down on the championship at the end of September. Sales certainly finding good grip on the inside. He's taken 1, he nearly took 2. But this is the fight raging now here at Assen for the lead of the race, because they have reeled in Mario Sales. He's offline through the Gert Timmer chicane. Sales, number 42 from Brazil. His compatriot, Eduardo Burr, right behind him. Mark Vick now storming back up through the field. Sanchez is 3rd. The championship leader is 3rd, and will continue to lead the championship if it stays like this. But you can see that his wet weather riding suit has come a little bit loose at the back there, and I've been watching that for the last lap or two. It's flapping around. I don't think it'll be causing him too much bother, but certainly would prefer it to be done up there with the Velcro strips. And this is where you get the concertina effect down through the Struben. Sales, once again, the leader there. Very, very adventurous with the curbs on the outside. And here comes Sanchez. Get on with it, he's saying. Get in behind me. Let's see if we can pull away. I'm not sure they're going to agree with you, Gonzalo. We've seen this so many times before, and sure enough, they're all compiling through at the far sweeper. Mark Vick now leads for Mallorca. Sales is up into second place. I think they've taken that as an insult rather than advice when Sanchez was trying to get them to follow him, as he's demoted again to 3rd position. Watch the front of the bikes dip as they hit the brakes for De Bolt, but with that dry line continuing to emerge, with the strong crosswinds here, it's going to make it very, very tricky to attempt an overtake, because you've got to go off the dry line and onto the wet part of the track in order to do so. A little bit greasy around here, but not too bad. This is the Maven near. Well, that's the natural compression there, and the suspension wants to send you almost to the moon and back, but they know it's coming. The Superbikes certainly they are in 5th gear around this part of the track, into the world-famous left-hander at the Ram's Hook, and then the GT chicane, named after the former great Dutch rider himself, Gert Timmer. And Sanchez, they're really putting the manners on the championship leader here. That was Takahashi back through. Takahashi, number 16. He was the Japanese JP250 champion 2 years ago. He was 8th in the European Championship last year. And Swain now with the red crash helmet is muscled out wide, back across the paint on the exit of turn 1. And you are watching a leading group of 8 riders here. Burr trying to sort himself out on the inside line. Mark Vick is back in front. Mark Vick, one of the more experienced riders in the category. It was supposed to start when the pandemic hit us. It was delayed until 2021. Iker Garcia, Enzo Valentim and Emiliano Ercolani, your 3 champions so far. Mark Vick, 42 is Sales. There's Burr, 88, cutting through on the inside of turn 7. And Swain now has dropped back and lost a lot of ground, and Cameron Swain has fallen out of the leading group and down to 9th position. Vick looks across at Burr as they hit the brakes now for De Bolt. Vick was 4th in the championship last year, 6th in 2021 when he made his debut, and he's desperate to become the champion in 2024. Completely different line to everybody else. Sanchez, number 23, the championship leader. He almost runs into the back of Burr. But it's very, very soaking wet through there. It's too risky to dive at the inside. But Burr is definitely thinking about it. Oh, and down 2 of them. Sales is down, Sanchez is down, the championship leader is out of race 1 here at Assen. So that's the pole sitter and the championship leader both down into the left-hander of the ram's hook as we hit half race distance. A major, major twist in the Yamaha R3 bLU cRU World Cup of 2024. So Mark Vick leads, Eduardo Burr now muscles his way through. And would you believe it, of all the riders to crash, you would not have expected the championship leader and the pole sitter. They crashed in qualifying, they've crashed in race 1. So the leading group is now 6 riders here as we move into the second half of the race. And I can tell you that incident is under investigation by the stewards here at Assen. Burr leads with the bright yellow crash helmet. Vick of Mallorca, the white helmet, goes all the way around the outside. What a move. I don't know whether Burr is lacking in confidence in that part of the track, and another one's gone down, and that's Mitja Borgout from Germany, the 14-year-old from Gütersloh in Germany. And this is the Struben, the left-hander of turn 5. You see the German flag there on the front of the motorcycle, helps to identify who it is as well as the number. And this is what happened. Was there contact? No, there wasn't. He was on the inside line, lost the front. I don't know whether he hit a damp patch there. I was saying before how difficult it is to venture off the line here when you've got a drying track and mixed conditions. So Borgout then, our 3rd faller in the race. Here's the top 6. 25 points for victory, 20 for second, 16 for third, 13 for 4th, 11 for 5th, 10 for 6th. That was Novak muscling his way through on the inside of Burr there into the ram's hook. That was a brave move, David, and I'm sure you'll enjoy watching that one back. But there are still bikes being attended to in the gravel there. I do not believe David Novak did that under yellow flags. It would be very unlike David Novak to do something like that. And certainly our GPS tracker in the commentary box is not showing a yellow flag, but I can tell you now, it's certainly showing a red flag because the race has been stopped at the start of lap 7. Here at Assen. It's a 10-lap race. The end of lap 6 was the 2/3 cutoff. We had literally just passed the 2/3 cutoff, and they've decided to put the red flags out because of the incident over there at the ram's hook. Now, it's under investigation, but I just hope that the 2 riders involved, Mario Sales, the pole sitter, and Gonzalo Sanchez, the championship leader, are okay, because it was a high-speed collision through there. And the red flag coming out then here and bringing a premature end to the first race of the weekend here at Assen. So it means for the David Salom Racing School, Mark Vick is a winner for the first time in 2024. Well done, Mark. His 3rd win in the championship as a whole and his 7th podium finish. He's putting together a very consistent start to the season now, isn't he, in 2024. A 3rd in race 1 at Barcelona, taken out in the collision in race 2, but back on top here and moving closer to the top of the championship. This means that Sanchez continues to lead the championship, but certainly one of the riders here is being stretchered away after that crash. Now let's see what happened, because Sanchez and Sanchez were both involved. There you can see Sanchez with the green crash helmet. He goes to the inside. Sanchez is on the inside. Sanchez on the outside. Contact. That looks to me as though it was Sanchez who went down first, and Sanchez had nowhere to go. Now, was it triggered by contact? This will be more telling. Yes, it was. Down goes the championship leader, Sanchez, and Sanchez had nowhere to go. No further action will be taken by the stewards, I can tell you. That's just been displayed on our timing screen as a result of that incident. But let's just hope whoever the rider was that was being stretchered away will be okay. We, of course, will let you know if we hear any news while we're still on the air, and if not, during the program here on Sunday, which as ever can be followed live here on the Yamaha YouTube page, streaming all across the season on our YouTube channel. And well done, Takumi Takahashi. No, not that Takumi Takahashi. This is the 15-year-old Takumi Takahashi, who has just cemented second place there and missed out on the win by only 0.2 of a second. I can now confirm that it is Mario Sanchez who has been taken to the medical centre. So it was Mario Sanchez, the pole sitter here today. He was actually quite late getting to the grid before the start of the race. He was quite close to missing the cutoff, I can tell you, before the start of the race, but he just about got there in time. In fact, it's both of them being taken to the medical centre. Gonzalo Sanchez as well. That's now just been informed to us here. So both Sanchez and Sanchez being taken to the medical centre. We're not sure who it was on the stretcher. We only saw one rider on a stretcher, and like I say, I'll let you know if we hear anything while we're still on the air. Mark Vick then comes in for his third victory in the championship and first of the season. $25 points for him. The David Salom Junior team are going to be absolutely delighted about this. Il Bello, he calls himself. Mark Vick 96 on Instagram if you're looking to follow the rider who just won the race. And look at Takahashi. We're seeing some real variety now, aren't we, in the championship this year? Some people in the paddock were worried about the domination of Sanchez back at Barcelona, hoping he wasn't going to run away with the championship, but he certainly hasn't. And there is David Novak with his Valentino Rossi 46 decals there on the top of the crash helmet. So here's the race results. It is Vick winning there. Only 6 laps of racing, sadly. Takahashi and Novak join him on the podium. Burr Tongdonmoon was in 5th place. Yomani was 6th. Swain will be disappointed to have dropped down to 7th from the front row. And it was Pietro Anastasi, number 28, from Switzerland in 8th place. De Percio is 9th, and Indy Schunshala fighting back to 10th after a poor start and losing 3 positions earlier on in the race. Dorian Jolan of France 11th. Nico Zainin of Switzerland, Czech Republic rather, was in 12th place, and then Konek of Turkey 13th. 3 retirements. Borgel went down at the Struben. And as we know, it was Sanchez, the pole setter, and Sanchez, the championship leader, in the scary incident over at the last corner.
Mark, you've won after a very difficult race with wind, cold and rain. Tell us how you managed to come through the pack to take this victory.
Well, this race was really crazy because from the beginning was on wet condition, then started to be in drying, and finally was almost the circuit dry. And it was really crazy because all people were in a big group, and I was thinking about to push, and finally I got it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark Vick. Thank you, Georgia Wells. And like I said, the circuit was trying, but this is the move. Around the outside on the entry to the Ruston hook. That really took Burr by surprise there, and Takahashi taking advantage of the situation as well as Il Bello comes through to claim his first victory of the season. A man who looks up to Andrea Locatelli and Toprak Razgatlioglu, who've done wonderful things, of course, on Yamaha motorcycles in World Superbikes over the last few years. His first bike was actually a Pellini. He used to ride around on that in his native Mallorca. There's a lot of cycling, running in his spare time. He's also a bit of a magician, I can tell you, Mark Vick. And well, he certainly was. That was magic, what he's just done around the outside of the right-hander at the end of the back straight. But he likes to do a little bit of magic in his spare time. Graffiti as well. So certainly a man of many talents. David Novak absolutely made up with his third place. And he needed some good luck as well. He's definitely a title contender this season. He was fourth in race 1 at Barcelona, second in race 2 at Barcelona, and now third. So just one step on the podium yet to be occupied by David Novak so far this year, and that's the one in the middle. He's second now in the championship at strengthening the deficit, because he was only 17 points behind Sanchez before, and now it's just 1. Sanchez leads the championship by 1 point from Novak. Burr is third, 7 behind. Vick, today's winner, 4th, 9 behind. Takahashi 5th. Jolan is 6th from Yamani, and then Zanin. So it means any one of 8 riders could leave Assen tomorrow as the championship leader ahead of round 3 at Misano on the weekend of the 14th and 15th of June. There's been a bit of contact there. Look on the right-hand side. Somebody's handlebar has scratched the right-hand side of Mark Vick's bike. Everybody there on the wet weather tyres. The organisers always make that decision. And Michael Hill now, the master of ceremonies, introducing the riders to the podium at the paddock show here. Very affordable class as well, this. The R3 bLU cRU program. Many cups and challenges in Spain, France, the Benelux region here, Italy, Thailand and South America. And to enter this series here alongside World Superbikes, for full entry and all the kit provided, it's just, I say just, €30,500. Far more affordable than many other disciplines. Well done, Novak. That's 2 podiums then now, David, from your first 3 races. Takahashi, look at him. He's absolutely, look at him, he's close to tears. What a ride that was. Career first podium then in this paddock for Takahashi. And for Mark Vick, it's his 7th podium in this championship. 3rd win, and crucially for him, his first victory of the 2024 season.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, your respect for the national anthem of the manufacturer Yamaha, the national anthem of Japan. Thank you very much indeed. So if I could ask the top 3 riders.
So Mark Vick celebrating his first win of 2024 on the top of the podium here at Assen. Number 96. Reason, he was born on the 9th of October 2006. So he's taken the 9 from the 9th of October and the 6 from 2006, put them together, and number 96 it is, who's now just 1 point behind as he closes in on that 3rd place in the championship. So here's your results for the race itself, curtailed there. 4 laps short because of the red flag. Mark Vick wins for the first time this year. Takahashi's first podium in the World Cup, and David Novak, his 2nd podium of the season from 3 races so far. but some crucial retirements, not just Borgelt at the Struben, but the pole sitter and the championship leader, Sales and Sanchez, both down through the quick left-hander at the Ram's Hook. Still Sanchez leading the championship, as you can see for yourself, by the diminished margin of just 1 point now over double podium man so far this year, Novak. Then it's Burr, Vic, Takahashi, Jolan, Yamani and Zanin, all 25 points apart. So any one of the top 8 could lead after race 2 here at Assen on Sunday. So Mark Vick comes through, number 96, slides his way to his first victory of the 2024 season, with more racing to come here for the R3 World Cup. Race 2 at Assen will take place on Sunday. Expect more fireworks in that one.